If you think management's going to get themselves back on plan, then this stock is probably way undervalued. But, all right, welcome to Talking Investing. I am Tom, and as always, this is not financial advice. Today, I want to talk to you about Marathon Digital Holdings, stock ticker MARA. They are a Bitcoin mining company. Yesterday, they put out their operational update for the month of April. They also put out their Q1 2022 financial results. So there's an awful lot to go through. I am going to focus on the April update. I'm also going to talk about their financial results, though, and then I want to look at their stock and show you what's going on with these guys, because this is the very, very, very strange case. And to me, Marathon is turning into a lottery ticket more so than any of the other Bitcoin miners. So I want to talk about the upside and the downside, because both are tremendous. Okay, so let's start by taking a look at the press release for their operational update for the month of April. Here we go. Marathon Digital Holdings announces Bitcoin production and mining operations update for April 2022. Total Bitcoin holdings increased to 9,673 Bitcoin as thousands of Bitcoin miners are successfully installed in containers at Texas facility and prepared for energization. Okay, so I want to dig into that a little deeper, because honestly, that really didn't tell us very much. All right, corporate highlights as of May 1st, 2022. Increased total Bitcoin holdings to 9,673 with a fair market value of $365.5 million. This is the one thing that I believe is keeping Marathon stock where it's at. Even though it is down drastically, I believe it would be down worse had they not had such a strong balance sheet. Now, these are not all self-mined. About 4,800 of these they bought in January of 2021. But the fact is they hold almost 10,000 Bitcoin on their balance sheet. That is helping solidify a very strong balance sheet. So this is the thing that I think they have going for them. Now, next they say successfully installed 4,183 miners, representing approximately 0.4 exahash in containers at new facilities in Texas, with thousands of additional miners being installed and prepared for energization. They installed 4,183 miners. They have about 70,000 miners sitting in containers waiting to be deployed. So, 4,000 is better than nothing, but they are hardly scratching the surface here. They increased their exahash by 0.4%. I want to go through their planned growth rate as of right now versus what it was as of 4 months ago, and you're going to see that they are drastically off of their plans. Okay, operating mining fleet consisted of 36,830 active miners producing approximately 3.9 exahash per second, with thousands of additional miners expected to be energized in May. All right, so the first thing I want to talk about is they're saying they're at 3.9 exahash, but when you see their production, you're going to see most of these machines must have been offline for a great portion of the month of April, because their mining results were fairly disastrous. Also, you will see where they stand at 3.9 exahash at the end of April. You'll see where that is versus where they thought they were going to be just 4 months ago in December. Okay, here we go. Produced 299 self-mined Bitcoin during April 2022. Predominantly due to ongoing maintenance and downtime at the power plant in Hardin, reducing April's potential Bitcoin production by approximately 30%. This is yet another month where the operations report is miserable. That's why I want to go through the bullish case and the bearish case in this stock, because Marathon is kind of teetering on the brink here, and these results just keep coming in much lower than expected. Now, they say they have a plan. If they execute their plan and everything all works out by the end of the year, then, it's a winning lottery ticket. But if they don't, they're falling so far behind that they went from mining more Bitcoin than any publicly traded company to now, in the month of April, they're going to finish in 6th or 7th place. Announced stage transition miners from fossil fuel powered facility in Hardin, Montana during the third quarter of 2022 as part of the company's initiative to achieve 100% carbon neutrality by year end 2022. So this has been a very big target for them. They're talking about 100% carbon neutrality. Now, I don't think they're going to be 100% powered by green energy. I think their intent is to be carbon neutral, and more so than some other companies, I think they're depending on a lot of carbon credits to get there. However, I will say they are massively shifting away from coal, which is basically the highest carbon emission thing, towards much, much better solutions. They're adding a lot of wind, a lot of solar. So this is what their plan is. So, if all of those things happen, these guys would be a juggernaut. Their stock price has the potential to double or triple or quadruple if they can get back on that plan. The problem is this is now so many months in a row of falling further behind their plan versus catching up that this is going to be one of those situations where I think most investors are going to feel like I do, where I'm going to need to see it to believe it. So I think the investment community is likely to feel the same way. At this point, telling us your plans is not helping when month after month after month, they're not executing their plan. Whereas Marathon is missing their target by a lot, Riot continues to hit their target every month. Riot is producing significantly more Bitcoin per month than Marathon. And it looks like we'll continue to do so for most of the year. So I don't even know if Marathon can catch Riot by the end of the year in 2022, no matter what they do at this point. Okay, so the last thing they say is the company continues to expect its mining operations to be 100% carbon neutral by the end of 2022. So I'd like to learn more about what that is. I did look through their quarterly earnings press release. They talked about a lot of machines migrating to wind and solar. They talked about 100,000 machines this year getting onto wind and solar. Now, they have a total of 200,000 machines that they want to have operational. When last they updated, they said they were going to be about 77% carbon neutral. Now they're talking about 100% carbon neutral. So we'll have to see a little more detailed plan as to exactly how they get all those machines online and exactly what the power source is for those machines. Clearly, one way or the other, they're getting off of coal, so the market is going to like that a lot, and they're moving towards greener solutions. Okay, so this is their Bitcoin production on a monthly basis over a year, since last January of 2021. I want to show you a few things. In July and August, they were the beneficiary of, you'll see this orange line is the worldwide network exahash rate. So that plummeted in May and June, and that was because China basically turned all their machines off. So the North American miners were a huge beneficiary of that. They had phenomenal July and August numbers. September, they pulled back a little. I want to talk about the fourth quarter of 2021 versus the first quarter of this year, and I'm going to go to their quarterly report now. Marathon Digital Holdings reports first quarter 2022 results. So revenue increased by 465% year over year to $51.7 million. Now, you know that I don't look at year over year. It's fairly meaningless inside of the Bitcoin mining companies. Bitcoin production increased 556% year over year to 1,259 Bitcoin. So that's what I want to look at. Revenue increased 51.7 million, an increase of 42.6 million or 465% from the prior year quarter, so that's year over year. However, it decreased $8.6 million or 14% from the fourth quarter of 2021. They had less revenue in the first quarter of 2022 than in the fourth quarter of 2021. So that is a very bad sign. Now they go on to say, Bitcoin production increased to 1,259 Bitcoin during the period, a 556 increase from the prior year quarter. Now remember, at the beginning of last year, the first quarter of 2021, they really weren't mining Bitcoin. They had just started. They were much less than 1 exahash. So these year-over-year numbers are not that meaningful. However, from this quarter versus last quarter, they go on to say a 15% increase from the fourth quarter of 2021. So I want to show you, that's a very small increase quarter over quarter, but really, actually, that is only because of an anomaly in the fourth quarter. So had that not occurred, they actually would have gone down in production quarter over quarter. And I'm going to show you what I mean. So you'll see the fourth quarter was October, November, and December of last year. If you look at last November, they went from 417 Bitcoin mined in October, 484 in December, and then they had this month in the middle where they did 196. So once again, this was another one of those months where operationally they were just shut down by and large for significant periods of time. So if that had been a normal month, then they would have mined more Bitcoin in the fourth quarter of 2021 than they did in the first quarter of 2022. And as it stands, even with this anomaly of a month that was just awful, they still only beat this quarter by 15%. And you'll see last month was 436 Bitcoin. This month is 299 Bitcoin. So that is a big step in the wrong direction. This chart is all over the place. Now, I want to show you what their plan was. Okay, so you can see corporate highlights as of December 1st, 2021. So this was their plan coming into the year 2022. I'm going to zoom in a little. So you'll see this line right here represents where they expected to be on March 31st. Now it is May at this point, and they are at 3.9 exahash. They were expecting to be at 10 exahash 2 months ago. So they are incredibly far behind. And really, to say they're at 3.9 exahash isn't even fair because their hash rate equivalent was more like 2 exahash actively running in the month of April. So if they can get their infrastructure built and their machine machines up and running. They are in possession of all these machines. They are ordered, delivered, and paid for. So that is an asset, and it does give them the chance to get back on track. You know, that may have cost them 5 or 6 or 7 or 8,000 Bitcoin that they could have mined that they didn't mine because they fell behind their plan. You know, by next month, they were expecting to be at 13.3 exahash. And again, last month they were at 3.9, but they operated at more like 2.0. So you can see how drastically they are off plan. So here's a company I want to believe they're going to do what they say they're going to do. But so far, this is many months in a row of them not accomplishing that. You know, and if by the end of the year they're at 10 or 13 exahash, everybody's going to feel a lot better about this company. Right now, there's no evidence that they're going to get to where they say they're going to get to. So again, this is why I'm calling it a bit of a lottery ticket. I do think there is a scenario where they turn this around, but I am not adding to my position at all because at this point, I need to see some sign that things are moving in the right direction. This last month was the worst one yet, so that's not a very good feeling as an investor. I'm just going to spend 30 seconds or a minute on their chart because, you know, it's hard to really make any predictions from this point based on the massive uncertainty that's going on. But what I did want to show you is they are hovering very near their 52-week low. They got down to $15.05 a few days ago, and that was their 52-week low. So they're in that ballpark. This stock is sitting near its lows, but it's doing no worse than any of the other Bitcoin mining stocks, really. This is about average performance for the Bitcoin miners. So this stock is down about 50% in the last month. So again, that is a drastic decrease, but it's not that dissimilar with the rest of the Bitcoin mining companies. Let's see if they can get their facilities built, their machines plugged in, and they have their own pool. So they need to get that pool on track. Right now, it is performing very poorly. So I'm not even going to give any price targets. I'm basically going to leave it at that. This one is all about whether or not you believe in management. If you think management's going to execute the rest of this year and get themselves back on plan, then this stock is probably way undervalued. But if you think they're going to continue to do what they've been doing for the last 6 or 8 months, which is just fall further and further behind their plan, then obviously that would be a totally different story. So again, not financial advice. Please do your own due diligence and make a decision because this stock is unbelievably volatile. So I'm going to leave it at that. That's my marathon update for today. So if you've made it this far, please remember to subscribe to the channel and smash the like button. Thank you so much for watching. I will probably do another deeper dive on Marathon's earnings sometime in the next week or two. So please drop me a comment if you're interested in seeing a deep dive on their actual earnings report. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video.